Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're outside again making another painting. I'm just finishing getting set up here. I'm a little too low in my chair. This table's a little tall, so let's see if we can give me a little bit of a booster. So it's nice out today, so figured I'd paint outside. I think you guys can see okay. I have just off to the side here all my paints you should be able to see, and then I've got my iPad, which is the reference photo for our cat we're making today. This is a cat for one of our friends. She bakes Hillary a lot of baked goods all the time. Brings them into her while Hillary's at work. So we want to say thank you. And what better way to do that than by making a pretty picture. So let's get right into it. I figure today I will show you kind of how I make a long furred cat with my mixed media techniques. First thing we got to do is clean this off. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the background like always. I want to paint from back to front, layering my paint here. And the first color I'm going to do is the background. In the photo, so this cat is a gray cat that's got bright green eyes. And I think it would be fun if we also did a bright green background so that it has some kind of cohesion. So we're going to go ahead with this color and some yellow. And obviously I'm not going to do it all exactly one color. That's boring, right? We don't want a boring painting. So we'll just get started and we'll see what we can come up with here while we're painting. I figure I will kind of jump in and out and talk to you guys when I have something to say, and then we will speed through anytime I don't have something to say. So that's a nice start, but like I said, I'm gonna want it to be a little more interesting than that. So I'm actually gonna take some of this teal here, so I think that'll blend nicely with some of these colors. Nice, it's pretty good so far. I'm gonna go in with kind of a phthalo blue looking color. Okay, so there's that. I've got to let this dry a little bit. While it's drying, we'll go through some announcements. So today is the day that I'm releasing the video. I'm a little behind schedule, but it's Thursday the 30th today. And this video will come out today, Thursday the 30th. Tomorrow's Halloween. But next week, which is November 7th, which is a Friday, I will be in downtown Fort Myers at an art walk. I'll have a booth out there. They do it monthly, and it's always the first Friday of every month, and I will be out there. So if you're local and you want to come see me next Friday from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in downtown Fort Myers, I'll be there all night. I'm not sure what booth I have yet. They haven't told me, but the last 2 months I've been in the same spot. I was at booth number 7, which is kind of on the outside of everything, over by where Blue Boutique is. It's like that Goodwill boutique in downtown Fort Myers, if you're familiar with the area. Come see me, come say hi. If you saw this video and you come see me, let me know that you saw this video, and maybe I'll give you some free prints. How about that? I have 4x6 prints, and if you come see me and you mention that you saw this video, I'll give out a free print to everybody who saw this video. That sounds like fun. Other than that, I will be starting some private watercolor classes. So if you like these videos and you would like me to come to you and teach you how to do this with maybe a group of your friends, feel free to contact me. You can get to my website, which will be linked in the description, and you can reach me on social media. You can leave a comment here, and I think you can get my email. Any way you want to, reach out to me. I'm happy to teach classes. I prefer, group classes, but if you are really wanting to take it serious, we can have some one-on-one lessons as well. It may just cost a little differently than a group class would, but I'm happy to lead some classes. I could teach you how to make a painting, or I could teach you the basics. Should be fun. So reach out, let me know if you're interested in something like that, or if you know somebody who would be, maybe send them this video. We're just checking if the painting's dry. Not quite yet. We got some wetness still down here in the bottom. So I'm gonna let that dry a little bit longer, and then we can start painting. I just don't want to get any of this green into my cat, so I gotta hang out for a minute. Let's see, do I got anything else? Oh, so if you don't know me personally, I'm a Denver Nuggets fan. I'm not from Colorado. They're just the team that I used to play on 2K, and I've been a fan of them ever since I started doing that. And our center, Nikola Jokic, just shot his 4th triple-double of the season in 4 games, which ties the NBA record, held by the only 2 guys in NBA history to have more triple-doubles than Nikola Jokic, Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson. So that's pretty cool. If he does if he shoots another triple-double at their next game, he'll be the record holder for most triple-doubles in a row to start a season, with 5 in a row, which would be pretty freaking cool. But yeah, I think that's enough time. We've got a little bit of wetness down here, but that's not next to the painting. It's dry next to the cat, so I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to jump to my round brush now, because I want a little more finesse with my strokes here. And we're going to actually start with the eyes, which are the same color that we've been working with. This kind of light green, so I'm going to start there. So we're going to get a bunch of yellow and some green. Now I've got like I said, my reference up here. I don't know if you can see that at all. No, it's literally just off the screen, but that's fine, because I will have shown you what it looks like already. If not, here it is now. But let's go ahead and get some green in here for the eyes. So now I'm going to do some of my darker areas. We'll leave the eyeballs alone for now. Obviously they're going to have black pupils, but I want to do some of my darker areas. And if you saw my most recent video, I am going to make a black substitute, because I want to stop using straight black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is my black, I'm going to take a brown and my blue, and when I mix brown and blue together, it gives me a black substitute that works really nicely and is much more interesting than just boring old black. So let's do the first coat of some of these really dark areas. So dark in the nostrils, down here, got some darkness, this little lip here, and we've got some darkness going on there. Around his eyes, we've got some really dark shadows under the chin. And so there's really white fur in here, but the only way for me to make that white fur stand out is to make it dark first, or avoid it completely, which is not really my thing. So I'm going to make this section pretty dark, and then I can come in with my white pens later and lighten it up. So the light source is coming from this way, so this side of his face is going to be darker. So he is a gray cat, which you've seen, but there is a little bit, a tinge of brown to him. And so we're gonna work with that. First of all, let's get this in here. Okay, so there is the first tone. Now I'm gonna go in and make some shadows here. In those areas that I talked about being in shadow earlier, I just wanna darken them up, get them kind of closer to this color. Now I'm thinking about making my brush strokes go with the direction of the fur. Okay, so let's add some of these details here. I want to get his face done, not done, but his face pretty far rendered, pretty early, because that's a good way for me to tell if I'm on the right track. So I'm going to add in some of these stripes that he's got going on and work on some of the actual coloration of his face. So we've got some really light white underneath his eyes. And so in order to make that seem white, I'm actually going to darken up the things that are next to it. And that'll provide it with the appearance of being lighter. I still learn with every painting I do, and I'm getting better every day. You're never done learning in anything, especially in art. You're never done learning. And one of the things that I've been working on recently is doing more work with the watercolor brush, because I think it's very easy to fall back on the crutch of having colored pencils available to me. And so I'm going to do more work with my brush than I would in the past. And what I'm doing here, very light touch. You see I'm making tiny little strokes. I'm going to follow the shape of the fur. Remember, I don't want to do exactly what I see. I'm not a printer. I'm looking for the essence of a painting. So that's kind of the idea of what's going on there. So that's where I'm going to stop. We've got a bit of a brown lip. And this needs to be darker for sure. So we can do that. I'm going to add some of my sienna here to warm it up just a tad more, because this guy wants to be closer to that color. And a little bit of that creeps up here into the nose. So I think we need to darken this side up a little bit as well, just like we did on the other side. I got a lot of water in my brush right now, so there's not a lot of pigment going down, but that is a-okay. So his fur is drooping down this way, and it's trying to come this way, but it kind of stops here. And then you get the fur underneath, which is going that way. So I'm going to try to capture that. And all of these strokes, I just want to kind of add together to get me closer to my final here. This isn't a photo, this is a painting, right? And when you give somebody a painting or somebody buys a painting, they want it to seem like a painting. They don't want it to look like a picture. Pictures are a lot cheaper than paintings in most cases. And so I'm always one of those people who's been of the opinion that if you are getting a painting, it should look like a painting. How I had this cheek here that you could see, you can kind of see it on this side as well. It's not as pronounced because we're in shadow, but you can definitely see it a little bit. His ears obviously are a little funky right now because we don't have the white fur highlights over top of them, but I do want to do a little bit of this here. There is some darkness around the edges that bleeds in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is apply some darkness to the edges, and then I'm going to clean my brush out and soften the inside edge of them up. And you'll see it just kind of bleed in there, which is exactly what I'm seeing from my reference photo. Okay, squint test. I think we can still push the contrast more. And we could also work on his eyes now. They've dried a little enough, I think. So more green, but I need a darker green to give me the shadow section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some blue and some brown. And what that's going to do is make it darker, but also make it duller. Okay, so this needs to be darker. This can still be darker. We've got some really dark shadows under his chin, to the side here. And I can darken some of this up here as well. So let's do that. And we're layering, right? That's the whole idea here. So I want to make this here a little darker as well. So I'm going to get a little more of my color. And what's nice is every time I mix this, it's a little bit different. See, this time it's a little more blue, which is cool. It's like I probably wouldn't have mixed, I wouldn't have made it blue, you know, on purpose. But because it happened to be, that's what we're going to work with. And so, even though I never intended for any part of this cat to be blue, now I have a little bit of it blue. And I think that's really fun. And when I come back in with white, oh my gosh, you'll see. It's going to look so cool when I come back in with white. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for this step. Now I gotta let this dry, and I can come back with colored pencils. But I gotta wait for a few minutes. So I'm gonna stop you, and we'll be back in 20 minutes for me, in 2 seconds for you. Okay, it's dry now. So we're gonna start with our colored pencils. I gotta readjust my chair a little bit. Hopefully I don't get in the way, but time to jump into colored pencils. So first thing I'm going to start with is a dark brown. Dark brown. Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. And the reason I'm starting with dark brown is because, once again, black's pretty boring. So I'll probably come in with black later, but I want to start with dark brown. And I'm not going to go as crazy with it here as I have on cat portraits in the past. I'm going to let the watercolor do a lot of the work. But I am going to sharpen him up so we get kind of a finer tip so that I can get some nice strokes in here. Following the direction of the fur. Once again, we're not going crazy with it. Just enough. Ooh, it's getting a little windy out here. I'm sure you can hear that. Hopefully that doesn't mean it's going to try to rain on me, because I am sitting out in the open. Okay, so there's our colored pencils. Like I said, I don't want to do too much with the colored pencils today. I want to let it be mostly a painting, but I definitely want to do some pen work. So let's put this away for now. I'll pull it back out if I need it. And I've got my black pen and then 3 different white pens. This is a gel pen, and these 2 are paint markers. This one's a little thinner than this one, and we'll see what I need of each of them. But we're going to start here with the sections that need to be detailed the most. Remember, we're going to have a bunch of white fur coming out here. And we can start some of that because it starts kind of dark. Okay, so my mic on my hat died, so the rest of this video has nothing. So I'm going to pump through it at 10 times speed, and I will kind of jump in to say things if I feel like I need to. But it's pretty straightforward at this point. I'm kind of tweaking things. I'm going to come in here with my white pen that I just started now, and I'm going to add whiskers and fur details, and you'll see the painting really pop here. The forehead's kind of light here, so I went and pulled my watercolors back out and darkened that up a tad. But that's going to do it, so we're going to jump in after a second here and sign it, and then we can get to our final. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and sign my black pen, John Johnson II, and it is 2025. And let's get into the final thoughts and glamour shots. Okay, so the exposure might be a little weird, but it's trying to rain on me. So let's make it quick. Well, it's Florida, what do you expect? But here is our finished cat. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks nice and fuzzy, which is exactly what we were hoping for, so that's awesome. I appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified whenever I post something new. Share this with your friends. Leave a comment. Do you think this turned out well? I think so. Would you like me to paint something interesting in the future? Like if you've got any ideas for videos, please feel free to let me know. Once again, I'm going to be out at the Art Walk downtown next Friday. So if you want to come see me and you watch this video, tell me you've seen this video at Art Walk on Friday, and I will give you a free 4x6 print of one of my paintings, which is pretty cool. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.